So I just updated my slash now page. If you're not familiar with these, it was something that was started by Derek Sivers a long time ago in internet years now. I think my page is about 10 years old. But if you have a website, you would just go to the website slash the word now to get kind of an update on, what the person's working on now. So this is going to be over at casabona.org slash now. It's been a while since I've updated this, and I did more than just now pages come in all shapes and sizes. Some are just like a paragraph on the projects they're working on. Some are like what I'm reading, what I'm listening to, and some are just kind of like the biggest life updates over the last couple of months. For a while, mine was just kind of like a little bit about me and like the things I'm working on. But I decided to update it to include projects, media, about me, similar pages, and elsewhere. So I figured I'd run through this. Again, you can find it over at casabona.org slash now. And I also put it in my main navigation. But projects, I mentioned the newsletter. I mentioned this podcast. I mentioned Streamlined Podcaster. Something I'll talk about in another episode is I'm moving Streamlined Podcaster over to rss.com, and I'm going to start publishing more regularly to that again. I've realized over the last 6 months or so that I've had a lot of podcast opinions, and while I am switching to serve, solopreneurs writ large, that doesn't mean I have to stop talking about podcasting. So, that's gonna be so. Streamlined Podcaster is on here. I'm working on my signature framework with Charlotte Crowther, who you can hear in episode 486 of the show. And then this is included in media, but I've committed to recording a new automation video every day for 30 days, starting when I get back from family vacation on August 4th. So you can find me over on YouTube, and that's linked on the page. So those are the projects I'm working on now. Media, after trying to resist paying for 2 music streaming services, I'm back on Spotify, and the experience is just far superior to that of Apple Music. It's just unbelievably better in every way. And that includes, like, one of the reasons I was on Apple Music is the tight-knit integration between it and CarPlay and the HomePods. But like HomePods are so bad that the little friction there is between HomePod or CarPlay and Spotify, it's not as bad as I thought it was. So just really happy with that. Speaking of music, I've been listening to a lot of 90s rock, as well as Taking Back Sunday and New Found Glory. And then I have a lot of playlists, but I share my 5 CD changer playlist. The rule of this playlist is that I can never shuffle it, and if I'm going to listen to it, I have to start at the beginning of one of the albums, much like a 5 CD changer of old. So the 5 albums that are on it right now are Fever You Can't Sweat Out by Panic at the Disco, So Long Astoria by the Ataris, Sticks and Stones by New Found Glory, Fallen by Evanescence, and From Under the Cork Tree by Fall Out Boy. This is shockingly close to what my 5 CD changer probably actually looked like. Like swap out like Newfound Glory or probably Panic at the Disco. Swap out Panic at the Disco for some Metallica album, and that's it. Okay, as far as books go, I'm currently reading Tiny Experiments by Anne-Laure Lecunth, I think. I should know this. I met her in person at Craft and Commerce. I'm really enjoying that book. The newsletter that went out yesterday, article published on the blog today, as I record this, or as you're hearing it really, talks about how I'm keeping track of notes and thoughts for this versus how I used to, so check that out. I just finished Abundance by Ezra Klein and Derek Thomas, and then I am going to read some fiction after Tiny Experiments. I'm going to the beach next week, so I always like to take that opportunity to read fiction and just turn my brain off. At the recommendation of many tools that I basically told I like Andy Weir and I like Blake Crouch. Neil Gaiman was recommended, and so I'm reading Neverwhere. Um, Other stuff, I am playing Hogwarts Legacy on Xbox and really loving that game. And I'm finally watching Andor on Disney Plus. And then I include my current streaming services. I thought this would be an interesting one because we're swapping things out all the time. So Disney Plus and Hulu, HBO Max, Peacock, Netflix, and then MLB TV. The things I included in my About Me section, I help solopreneur parents build better systems so they can stop checking their email at the playground. I'm raising 3 pretty cute kids, if I do say so myself. I mentioned that I'm a sponsorship coach for Justin Moore. I'm a product evangelist for RSS.com. I'm the president of the HSA at my kid's school. Yankees fans, cigar guy, and I play the drums. I live in Chester County, PA. And then I don't talk about this much, but I do include the fact that I have type 2 diabetes. And I'm sharing that because I think I'm probably going to start talking about continuous glucose monitors more because I have one. There's a bunch of over-the-counter ones, and they've been a game changer for me. So, wrapping up this episode and the Now page, I am linked to similar pages. Those are what I use, what's on my desk, my recording setup, and how I've configured my Stream Deck. And then I say that you can find me elsewhere. 4 points under here. On LinkedIn, I post the normal thought leader stuff we've come to expect there. I'm treating Blue Sky like Twitter circa 2009, so I'm mostly posting about Yankees and other stupid thoughts. And I am no longer using Facebook, Twitter, Threads, and Reddit. I have either deleted my accounts there or have just straight up locked myself out of those accounts in a way that would be too much of a pain to get back into them. And then I encourage people to subscribe to this podcast, which you already are. So that's my Now page, casabona.org/now. If you have a Now page, share it with me. I'd love to see yours, get some inspiration. The last thing I'll say is if you go to casabona.org/then, this is an idea I stole from Stephen Hackett at 512 Pixels. You can see a change log. I haven't been keeping track of this, but you could see some of my Now pages throughout the years, and I'll be more diligent about keeping that updated. So that's over at casabona.org/then. Anyway, if you have a Now page, let me know. You can go to streamlinedfeedback.com. That's streamlined with a D, feedback.com. And until next time, I hope you find some space in your week.